European Green Transition. Epicode EGT is a developer of green economy assets in Europe and has been set up to capitalize on the opportunity created by the move to green energy and the EU Critical Minerals Directive. I'm joined by Director Jack Kelly to bring us up to speed on the latest developments. Jack, good to see you again.
You too, Alan. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. But Jack, first of all, European Green Transition recently announced results for the financial year ending 2024. Made excellent progress, of course, since the IPO in April last year. Can you provide viewers with an overview of the highlights?
Yeah, of course, Alan. And look, 2024 was a really good transformative year for European green transition. You mentioned our IPO. We were one of only, I think, 10 or 11 companies that IPO'd in London last year. We IPO'd in April, raised 6.46 million in gross proceeds, which really helped transform the business and brought us, allowed us to spend money developing our Alstom rare earth project up in Sweden. So as part of this, we managed to get through a number of key milestones and value inflection points for the Alstom asset. For instance, we completed a 1,500-meter drill program, stepping out from the historic resource at Alstom towards Alstom West and Jupiter, with the real purpose of proving up the district scale potential for rare earths at Alstom, and we were very successful in doing that. Additionally, in Alstom, we did a number of metallurgical testing on the rare earths at the project, and this proved that the rare earths at Alstom can be processed in a very standard, well understood method, which is critical for an incoming acquirer as we look to monetize this asset. There's no requirement for expensive bespoke processing facilities that would need to be built custom made for the Alstom project. So that's really, really encouraging. And this has helped us extend the project license by 4 years to June 2029. So again, that's crucial for an incoming potential incoming acquirer. From a financial perspective, we reported a robust cash position of 3.7 million as at the 31st of December 2024. And this puts us in an excellent position to execute on our M&A strategy, which I'll talk about a bit more in a few moments. But we're in a really good position to execute that and target revenue generating businesses that are distressed but operating in the green economy. And we have enough existing cash resources to execute a transaction on one of those companies in the near future. Final point in the announcement was that our large shareholder and co-founder Carl Friel will be stepping into the position of executive chairman later this month, again to sort of turbocharge our M&A strategy, and that's something that we're really excited about.
Well, I was just going to pick up on that, of course. Following your recent AGM, you shared that news that Carl Friel is, of course, to step up as executive chairman, and Aidan Lavelle, of course, former CEO, is stepping away from the company. Now, Carl, of course, needs no introduction to viewers. Can you tell us more about the changes and about some of the strategy that you might look at going forward?
Yeah, of course. So I think we've always been very clear with European Green Transition that this isn't a mining company, that we're focused across the entire green economy. And I think now is a having completed our Alstom rare earths drill program, having brought that through a value inflection point, and now having positive conversations around monetizing that asset. The board has recognized that the strategy is moving towards revenue generating, targeting revenue generating businesses and acquiring them, bringing them in and turning them around. So there's been an agreement between the board and Aidan that he'll mutually step down as CEO, and that will happen at the AGM on the 30th of June this year.
Okay. Well, of course, the current shift in global geopolitics have resulted in Europe ramping up its efforts to source rare earths actually within Europe. Can you provide some more background or your views on this, and also what sort of opportunities that represents for European green transition?
Yeah, look, we see it as a huge opportunity. Obviously, rare earths have been key focus, particularly as part of the Trump administration in the last number of months. The deal around Ukraine and future access to their mineral rights has been, rare earths have been a key focus of that and a key driving force for that. Rare earths, I suppose, obviously they're critical in the production of permanent magnets. If we were talking about this last year, the key focus there would have been their role in the renewable energy sector in terms of their crucial critical components of wind turbines, EVs, etc. But now there's also a key focus around their role in the defense industry as part of radar and communication devices, fighter jets, and defensive systems. I think I saw an interesting stat somewhere that an F-35 jet requires over 900 pounds of rare earths. So that shows the level of rare earths that is required in these high-tech defense industry projects. China currently dominates 90% of the global refined supply of rare earths, and a huge volume of the rare earth mines are currently in China. And this is causing a big issue for the US and Europe in terms of having a secure supply of rare earths. So, we believe that our Alcerum rare earth project could have a substantial, significant role in creating a significant stable supply of rare earths in Europe. At the moment, there is currently no operating rare earth mine in Europe that is able to provide source material for the renewable industry in Europe and also for the defense industry in Europe. So we think the Alcerum project has the potential with a future acquirer or partner to fill that gap as it progresses its development. Sweden is a really good country to do this work in. We've had strong support from a number of stakeholders in Sweden, and the Alstern project has received a strategic national interest designation by the Swedish Geological Survey. So that's again a very helpful designation we've received. So I think I've mentioned we're looking to sell or partner the Alstrom Rare Earth project to a third party. We're engaging with a number of these potential parties, and the continued global uncertainty for rare earths, this European-based project, a more attractive proposition, and we believe it will help create considerable value for it in the future.
Well, thanks for that detail, Jack. Fascinating numbers there on the F-35 as well. That's a real insight. So before we wrap up, you've already outlined some of the upcoming developments for investors and shareholders to look forward to. What else should we be looking for during the remainder of 2025 and going forward?
Yeah, so look, we've had a very strong start to the year. I mentioned Cathal stepping in as executive chairman from the 30th of June, and we really think this will help progress a number of the M&A discussions we're having. We've been actively working up a number of projects over the last year or so. There's certain ones that we could have completed, but it's all about getting something that's the right price for EGT and for the shareholders, where we can see a clear path to turning the business around, to getting it to profitability, to cash flow generation, and ultimately to create a return for the shareholders. So that's a key focus. From the projects within the portfolio at the moment, we managed to extend the license for the Alstom Rare Earth project, as I mentioned, to June 2029. And this is a critical component for a potential incoming partner. And those discussions are ongoing, and we hope to be able to update people in due course. We have a copper project in northern Sweden, the Pajala copper project. This is an ex-Anglo project, and copper is still a keen focus of a number of exploration companies, and we're in discussions with a number of parties about potentially monetizing that through sale or partnership, similar to the Alstom project. Our intention is not to spend any more money on that Pajala copper project. We have the option agreement over our carbon credit project, which I think we've talked about before, and we've actually extended that by a further 6 months to the end of the year, at no further cost to ourselves. And we've had a number of positive discussions with key stakeholders, and we're just buying ourselves more time to help build out the business model there and to assess the near-term revenue potential for the project prior to making a decision whether to exercise that option or not. So look, there's a huge amount of exciting stuff that we hope to update people on. But primarily, I think the key focus will be the M&A strategy with Carl coming in, leading that and looking to acquire a distressed revenue stage business in the green economy in the near future.
Well, Jack, it's been great to hear about the updates and latest developments. Great speaking with you again too, and of course, we wish you and Carl every success in taking the company to the next phase. Jack Kelly, Director at European Green Transition. Many thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Alan.